a cell into which this has to go. Okay. So let's put it in this cell. Then we go to here. Okay, so specify the cell. Then we go to formulas more function average, and then here we're going to click on this, and then select 3 cells that we're going to average. Okay, and then this is what we're going to do, and that's the average right there. Okay, and then we can, if you put like, see the plus there, if you drag this across like this, that gives you averages for the other 2 columns. Okay, so it just repeats the function for the other columns. That make sense? Okay. Now, and so you can label that this is your average. Okay. Now we want to do standard deviation. So standard deviation, we want to put in this line. So again, you go to this more function and statistical, and you scroll down. So it's all alphabetical. So this is going to be called stdev. And here you see there's stdev P and stdev S. Okay? Don't ask me what the difference is. There is a difference, but it doesn't matter. So you're going to need stdev S, not P. Okay, so S like the first letter of my last name. Okay? If you know what your professor's last name is, you know what you're using. Okay? If you have an older version of Excel, it's just going to be 1 without any letters. And then you're in luck because you don't have to think about it. But in these newer versions, which I think most of you have at this point, that's going to be the .s. Okay, so we're going to select that right here. And again, select the numbers that we're doing. Okay, and that's your standard deviation right there. Okay, and again, we can drag this across to get it into the other columns. Okay, and this is going to be, so we can label it so that you know which number is which. Now, this produces too many significant digits there, so you don't want this many. And so if you, so you can just select these. Select all these cells, and then right-click and do format cells here. Okay. And in this here, you can do number, and then do just 1 decimal place. Okay, and then that should change them to something that's a little bit easier to look at. Okay, 1 decimal place is good. Now, what we want to do is now do bar graphs. So we're doing a bar graph of averages, correct? Okay, so we're selecting these 3 averages, and now we're going to go insert. And here are your charts. So we have to do this column chart. Let's see, column chart. Okay, and so it shows you an example. So this is the type of column chart we want to have, or bar graph, same thing. So this is what we're going to do. This is going to be here. So later on, you can replace these numbers with wild type, Y and DPY labels, and you can add the title and everything. But right now, I'm going to show you how to add the arrow bars for your standard deviation there. Okay, and as you can see, I'm actually having my notes here because this isn't so easy. So what you want to do is go here to these properties and click on arrow bars. Okay, and see that created some sort of arrow bars. These are not the arrow bars that you want. And that's the confusing part. okay, because you don't stop here. Okay. In fact, you're going to click on this one to see options for error bars. And one of these options is going to be standard deviation. Don't write that down, because that's not where you click. Okay? You would think that would be too easy on part of Microsoft. Okay, but they're more devious than this. Okay, you actually want to click on more options, and you see this. And so here, if you scroll this all the way down, you will see this thing custom. And so you click on custom, and then this button becomes available that says specify value. So we're going to tell Excel which numbers we want as our error bars. Okay, because that standard deviation that they had in that menu is not the one that we just calculated. That's how Microsoft works. Okay? That's why I told you this isn't a very good software for this, but that's what we have to deal with. So specify value. And so here you have positive value and negative value. So positive is above the average, negative is below the average. We want the same as positive and negative. Okay? So because standard deviation is the same above and below the average. Okay? So what we're going to do is select positive value first, and so these are going to be our standard deviation values right here. And then negative values, we're going to select the same three numbers right here. And now you have this, and we're going to do OK. And if we did everything correctly, that should be fine. And so we can check. So here the average is 7.7, and it's 2.1 above and below. So 7.7 plus 2.1 is going to be 9.8, correct? So that's about where that is. And then minus 2.1 is going to be 5.6, correct? So that's about where that one is. Okay? So looks like this is okay. And so now you can close that. You can close this thing, and now these are your error bars. Okay?